Hi everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of The Secret Letters. We are extremely happy that you are liking the shortened version of the videos, and you're also loving the DIYs. We're getting a lot of messages regarding it. We are definitely happy that you are trying the DIY and you are liking it. But at the same time, I just wanted to remind you all that the sole purpose of starting the whole series or the association between our psych and 48 frames happened for a purpose. That was to share the knowledge related to mental health and psychological well-being. So whatever tips that we are giving for better mental health or for the psychological well-being, please do apply that as well, because India as a country itself is going through so much, because we are one of the countries that has ignored mental health the most. So whatever little that we know, we are sharing with you all. So we hope that you apply that as well and write to us about your wonderful experiences after applying whatever we have said. It will make us doubly happy more than you trying the DIY. We are definitely happy for that. You should groom yourself, but at the same time we would be happier if you would start applying the psychological factors that we have been sharing with you all. So yeah, let's come to the letter. Like always, you might be wondering, every time I say that this letter is very important, it has got a topic which is to be discussed and need of the hour. See, what happens is most of them write to us about things that are to be discussed, and we feel it has to reach to a lot of you. So today also we have an equally important topic in this letter. It is written by a parent. Both husband and wife have written to us. We know them for a pretty long time now. So this is about their journey into parenthood and what happens in the due course. So let me just tell you a little bit about the person or the people who have written to us. It is Ram and Lata. Both of them were from the rural side, rather from the villages. They came into the city, they made their life, their career. So once they made their career, they are from different places, though from rural areas, but the match was made between them by their parents, and they were, since they lived in the cities, they wanted to know each other better, so they decided to date for a while, understand each other, fall in love, and then get married. So while they were dating, or while during the time while they were trying to understand each other, they were very happy with each other's likes, the passion, the kind of attitude that they carried. They were really happy with each other's company. And Lata specifically was a very family person. As professional as she was professionally doing good, and she always wanted time for the family. She connected to Ram's parents. Ram always took care of Lata's parents like his own. So it was a beautiful feeling, and they decided to get married. So they moved into a new house along with Ram's parents. Just because Lata insisted that they should be elders at home, and when she gets back from work she will have someone at home to talk, and they will have their own nice family space. So even the in-laws were really happy with such a wonderful son and daughter that they have got. So things were going on fine, and in the due course she becomes pregnant, and that is when the mood swings creeps in. Like you would have heard from so many people, when they're pregnant they have this avalanche of emotions coming, and they really don't know how to react. Sometimes they are angry, sometimes they feel left alone. So the outburst of emotions was happening, and it started developing into fights and uncomfortable feeling. So the in-laws decided to give them their space, and they go back to their village. So Ram and Lata started distancing a little bit during this time, and there was no love that was there earlier while she became pregnant. Though Ram tried to coax and try to make her understand that it is a process, it's a phase, but Lata was really not interested in talking to him or even sitting and spending some time with him. So things went on from bad to worse, and they have a baby. And when the baby was born, also the fight continues, and it just goes worse day by day. They continuously fight. First it was verbal abuse, then it goes to physical abuse. They started putting things down, breaking things. So it turned out to be more of a violent behavior. See, it is not just about people who are ignorant or people who have no exposure in life. Even educated people, people working in very high positions also have a similar kind of lifestyle. We hear to so many people living the similar kind of lifestyle. So this went on, and the child is growing in that area. Amidst all the fights and violence, the child is slowly growing, and the child is big enough to go to the play school, and that is when she's very happy. It is more like getting rid of the child. The child can just go to the play school now. I don't have to bother. That was exactly her attitude. So the child really liked the play school, especially the teacher there, who used to pamper him because he was a nice roly-poly baby. Generally in our societies, if the baby is really plump and very cute and round, they will be the most loved. I don't understand why that happens, but that's how it is. That is generally how people look at kids. So since he was a healthy baby, most of them liked the baby. Not a baby now, because he's grown up, he's going to play school. So he loved his time there, but he was very emotional. He was not talking much. He used to hardly speak, and whatever he spoke, there was no clarity. So that is when the teacher over there was saying, yeah, maybe with time, because some kids start talking much later. So looks like he's one of them who is starting to talk very late. So they just understood that, they gave their own reasoning behind why he's not talking much or whatever. There is no clarity of speech. They didn't give so much of importance, because Lata was mostly bothered about her fight with her husband. So she was really not interested about what's happening with the child. So the child grows up, the child goes to first grade and then to the second grade. So after so many years, they are really fed up with the teachers telling that the kid is not doing well in school, he is not ready to talk to anyone, he's not playing with anyone, the kid doesn't understand anything. And they reached a point where the teacher said that, most probably he's not going to go to the next grade, because he's not doing well at all. Somehow he has reached the second grade and now he's really not doing well in school. So the parents were called. So that is when the parents realized that, okay, the child is still not having a clear speech, and he's not behaving that mature to his age. He doesn't like interacting with kids of his age group. He loves to play with kids who are much younger than him. So there was a lot of issue compared to other children of his age. So that is when his teacher said to go and consult a counselor or a psychologist or someone who can help. So that's how they landed with us. That's how they contacted us. So the first thing generally what we say is, when such situation comes up, is to check the child's vision and hearing and speech ability, because sometimes what happens is that the child might be suffering from some drawbacks with their vision or their hearing ability or their speaking ability. So once that is checked, they got back to us telling everything is fine, there does not seem to be an issue. Then after they came to us to the clinic, we gave them an IQ test to check how is the IQ. The child's IQ was low average, so it was above 70 and 80, so it was like around 82 was his scores. So he was definitely not borderline cognitively impaired. It didn't fall below. So we knew clearly that the child was a slow learner. So this particular episode is about children who are slow learners. There is a lot of confusion with this particular word. A slow learner is not dyslexic. He is not suffering from a learning disability. They are totally different. Dyslexia and slow learners are totally different. We'll have to deal it separately. So what is a slow learner? Slow learner is someone who actually behaves like the word. That is a slow learner. Takes time to learn. It learns very slowly, needs time to learn. It's not like other learning disability, because I don't want to mix both of them. It will confuse a lot of people. So this is particularly about slow learners. So in this episode, I will be dealing with slow learners. How to identify the slow learner? is the teachers. One thing is the teachers will be able to identify them. Another thing is at home. See, now if you see slow learners, they would be having issues with their speech. They start talking late and there will be no clarity in their speech. Their emotions are very, very fluctuating, and they generally cannot connect to children of their age. You have to explain to them so many times to make them understand. They do not behave as matured as their age. I have already explained the clear signs. What you saw in this kid is what you will find in a slow learner. Now when it comes to teachers, they learn child psychology as a subject. Even then, some of them sometimes get confused with this, and we have many discussions with the teachers. See, what happens is that when you take a bunch of students who are not scoring well, because that is the only way you can identify people, right? Students who are doing well with education or with studies or with knowledge is based on the examination or based on the test or based on the interaction that they have. So when they have a slab of students who are not performing that well, they can be divided into three. Okay, so one chunk will be of students who are shy. They know everything, who are shy to raise their hands to ask a question or to answer, or they don't like the attention. When they stand up, everyone looks at them, someone is looking at them, someone is literally looking at their face and sitting. They're not liking it, so they don't want to talk. So these kind of kids who do not like attention will be a little silent, may not talk much, may not even be very did not respond much in the class. Another sect of students are the ones who are not motivated. They are very lazy students. They know everything, but they do not want to talk unless and until there is interaction, there are some games, there is something motivating that's happening. Only then they will respond, only then they will answer to the questions, only then they will question you. Now there is another section that belongs to the slow learners, where they're not able to comprehend whatever you ask. They're not able to understand. You tell them twice, you tell them thrice, they're taking time to understand. So they are the slow learners. So you should not get confused between kids who are low on motivation, kids who are shy. This group is separate, where you can understand that no matter how many times you explain, they're not able to understand. So they are slow learners. So this is how teachers can identify, and parents, as I told you all earlier, that's how you can identify. Now there might be questions as in why this child has turned out, or what could be the possible reasons. See, we cannot just randomly tell the reasons, but in this particular case, it clearly, it was a childhood trauma, because the child is already going through a lot by not performing well in school. Already there's a name calling that's happening amongst friends or amongst classmates. Even teachers may not be giving them that kind of a support, and when they come back home, there is so much of things that's happening between the father and mother, not just while the child grew up, but the process of growing up itself has been amidst all the fights and all the violent things that's happening in the house. In this particular case, it's trauma. But others can be if they have had some kind of an injury or they're taking medication. Sometimes we need to know each case, but the common ones are, some of them like trauma. Another one will be too much of pampering. If they go on pampering the child too much, also you find the similar situation happening to children. So this is about it. These are the ways how a child can become a slow learner. This could be the reasons why a child is a slow learner. So this is about it in this particular episode. I will be dealing in detail about how you can manage slow learners in the next episode. So I also have the DIY for you in the next episode, so keep watching. Thank you so much.